How's it going, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about day 2 bench press day, and kind of continue on from yesterday's performance. The aim here was to work up to my opener, so the first attempt on the day of my competition, so 140 kilos. And generally when you do a powerlifting competition, you have 3 attempts per lift, and your first attempt should be the easiest attempt, as made here. You want to make sure that that is the attempt that gets the numbers on the board, and you never want to feel like you've gone too heavy because you've got another 2 attempts after that. So each attempt should be almost like the building block to get to whether you want to achieve a new 1 rep max or get closer to a heavier total. So this week again, it's just all about establishing that opener, especially where the last few weeks I've been feeling really tired, and obviously, again, been going through my rehab, and honestly it feels so good to now feel like I can just lift these weights, not only whenever I want, but also just making them feel very easy. So I'm very happy with how things are going. The rest of the session is pretty much just kind of taking over. I don't want to further fatigue myself too much, especially where I feel like my recovery is at a good point right now. And, again, I've only got this week to kind of get through before I deload again. So there's no point just trying to go too crazy or try to work off anything that I've done in the past to accumulate more fatigue. So it's just about managing my sessions, getting through it without any sort of aches, which will again ensure me to have a better recovery for the next session. So everything you see here is all my accessories. My Pendlay rows, I've now gone back up to doing 12 repetitions. So I just decided to go 80 kilos, again, stay nice and strict, refine my form, fill those muscles that I need to fill that I'm working, and then go from there. So what you're seeing now is my last 2 back off sets at 60 kilos. Again, really not much effort, to be honest, like in terms of how it feels and how it is for me personally, because I've done 100 kilos plus in the past for this rep range, and even in back off sets I've gone, I think the most I've done was about 90 odd kilos, I believe, or 95. I've done a little bit more, but this just gives me also another opportunity to kind of reset a bit and know what I want to do moving forward. I feel like this prep, there's a lot to learn from, and one of the things that I definitely want to take away from this prep is, in order to get stronger, lifting more each week isn't always the answer. And sometimes that can sound a bit ironic, because of course you'll never know how strong you are until you lift more weight. But equally, there's so much nuance to that, where you still have to ensure that your form is on point, and not only that, like, strength is always expressed better with how you deal with the stress of the weight you're trying to lift. And if you're not recovered, I don't care how good of a lifter you are and how long you've been lifting, you will be affected. And one thing that I definitely felt like I was constantly trying to do during this prep was just chase numbers, just always go heavier than the week before, and inevitably that just really, I guess to some extent, hindered my performance with regards to how much more I could have done, as opposed to constantly as opposed to actually taking my time, maybe going up a little bit more lower. Sorry, not going up lower, but not looking to constantly up the weights each and every single time. Just focusing on form, building my confidence up, and especially with everything that I was going through, just taking my time with it and just enjoying the journey, as opposed to just constantly trying to get back to where I was as quick as possible. So a lot of lessons to be learned during this prep. However, I'm definitely relishing all that hard work that I've been putting in before, and now it's just literally getting myself in tip-top shape, both mentally and physically, for my competition in 2 weeks. So stay tuned, day 3 on the way. Like, share, and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.